Hello, everyone. Wow. I have a few words to start with. We were doing so many fantastic researches. We did a lot of exposure this year. So many APTs discovered. So many cyber criminals, financial gangs being exposed. Silence, Carbanak, APTs, everything. We are hunting for the really sophisticated threats. All the researchers hunting for them. They want something sophisticated. They want something to be published. They want to impress everyone. But for the last few years, we forget about one old thing that actually brings more dark money than any APT, any financial cybercrime gang, anything together. The carding. I don't see any recent researches about carding. Actually, this is a big one that everyone is speaking about it, unfortunately. Because the carding is not dead. More than this, it lives and shines. And for some researchers, it's expected to reach 32 billion of losses by the global cybercrime, financial fraud. ATM schemers, carding, everything is in there, in these numbers. And the carding still has a huge part of this. In the next year, by some researchers, it will exceed 35 billion, 40% in USA. It's not dead. It lives. I've been monitoring carding in dark forum for the last 15 years. And the funny thing is, it's all started on a few small forums, like CardaPlanet. Who remembers CardaPlanet? Right, not so many people remember CardaPlanet. Well, probably that CardaPlanet is older than some security researchers, actually. And when I started to monitor it, I was a police officer. It was 15 years ago. I was in the cybercrime investigation unit. I was looking into the bad guys. I was looking for the carders. I was interested. And the carding is a starting point for many new cyber criminals' dark career nowadays. 15 years ago, I was looking into the dark forums and I was searching for the threats, and the threats was like, hello, I want to become a hacker. How can I be? And the big guy sitting in the dark forum say, hey, go to the carding forum. Learn how to kick in stolen credit card information. All right. And I'm monitoring dark forums now. I go to the dark markets. I go to the dark forum. And what threats I see? Hey, mommy, how can I become a hacker? Go to the carding forum and start to steal credit card information. The carding today is not the carding it was 15 years ago. Because in that time, you only need a credit card data information, like a number, maybe the expiry date. And you go to the shop, enter this information, and boom, you will buy something, then a laptop, whatever it is, and then you can send it to the drop location or something like this. But the thing is that protection mechanism really developed for the last 15 years, definitely. And it's not so easy. Right now, if you have a credit card information stolen, it's not so easy just to put it inside the shop, inside the payment system, and steal money from here. But VBIF is a Russian slang word to enter stolen information, is still exist. It's still there, and a lot of new carders are doing this, VBIF. But it's not so easy. Because the thing is that for the last 15 years, we have something that called anti-fraud systems. And when I started this research, I started to learn what is a normal, typical anti-fraud system, how it works, what it do, how it protects us how it protects payment system, how it protects shops from hackers. And when I started to research, at first I thought that the anti-fraud system worked like this. This is anti-fraud system. It initiates its protection protocols. It's the carders. And finally, a decision to block the transaction. Right? Easy. Should work like this. Should block the transaction. Very simple. Few of these, and everything is blocked, right? But when I start to research further, when I go deeper, I actually started to think that the anti-fraud systems work like this. Okay? This is Miss Smith from Boulder, Colorado. And her transaction was blocked. She's like, what? What happening? Well, the problem is that the anti-fraud systems is really hard to configure properly. I mean, if you overpower them, they will become and they will bring too many false positives. They will block many legitimate transactions. And it's much harder to to implement the system, all the technologies that being used in there in a proper way to detect all the carding transactions. Doesn't matter if it's a credit card, if it's a payment system fraud, if it's an online banking fraud. Doesn't matter. There is anti-fraud system everywhere. A few words how the modern anti-fraud system works and how it looks like. It looks like an Imperial Star Destroyer. But unfortunately, on any Star Destroyer, there is a Jedi with a bomb. Good anti-fraud system, how it works. It works in different kind of ways. It works in different kind of modules. But the basic thing is that the anti-fraud system first doing a device fingerprint. Your browser, when you enter online banking site or online shop, collects a lot of information about your system. It collects various data like your screen information, device build, operation system version, even the battery information, even the vendor of your graphical card, a GPU or audio unit. It's all done by the web scripts. This information is being collected. It could be, it's possible. Even like there is a passive TCP/IP fingerprint, passive different kind of checks. So actually, anti-fraud system takes a digital fingerprint of your identity, of you. Sounds nice, right? Really nice protective technology. Actually, the social networks doing the same thing and then sells your data into the advertisers. You think this is bad. But in this case, this is good. The anti-fraud system started to evolve. And they started not to only collect this information, they started to collect advanced analytics using machine learning algorithms. It started to collect, to understand, for example, for what time a cookie lives inside your system. What time you spent on the shopping site? What did you click? What actually your mouse or touchscreen behavior? It started even to analyze if you have a social network account using the third-party cookie. Because it sounds funny, but if you don't have a social network account, you don't have Facebook, you don't have other social networks, if you try to buy something, you will be flagged as suspicious because you are not real. Everyone has social network account. And of course, you have a cookie of this account installed in your browser. This is how the fingerprint check example looks. So there are various sites inside internet that you can simply go and your fingerprint will be analyzed and you will get exact data what it's collecting. There are like, I always told about the device fingerprint, fonts, geoposition, time zone, your browser headers, and so on, and so on, and so on, and so on. And everything sounds really complicated, really nice. More than 100 parameters to be checked. And finally, when the anti-fraud system collects all this data, it's making a decision. If your fingerprint completely unique and was used already to make a legitimate transaction using your credit card, or to make a legitimate buying in the shop, you are becoming a legitimate, a trusted user for the anti-fraud system. It puts you inside the database. And next time you come to do the same, to buy something, you will be legitimate, and it will not ask you any additional questions. It will not ask you for your credit card number. It will not ask you for some additional verification. Not any, of course. It depends on region heavily. Usually in the United States, it doesn't ask anything, because Ms. Smith from Colorado, she doesn't know this information, and she don't want to provide any additional verification to factor stuff. Or your fingerprint should be completely unique. It may be not in the system at all, but it should be unique. It shouldn't have any patterns, for example, of the virtual machines, or some known anonymizing software, or Tor browser, and so on and so on. If anti-fraud sees that your digital fingerprint looks like known, it will ban you. So actually, final decision is block the transaction, hold the transaction for manual verification. It will ask you to input additional online information like CVV, expiry date, and so on, or it will understand that you are legitimate and it will confirm the transaction. So final decision make, you should be known or unique. But the bad thing is that the cyber criminals are fully aware of this. And here's the doppelganger scam. They found ways how to use a special malware to steal your fingerprint from your PC and to bypass an anti-fraud system quite easily. Now imagine a malware, and imagine the things that you, anti-fraud bypass rule number 1, be a trusted copy. There is a malware who infects your PC, dumps your logins and passwords, steals your cookies, system information, makes a full fingerprint, device fingerprint of your system, and send it to the cyber criminal. If some criminal somehow can take this information, put it inside his machine or his browser, take a proxy, like buy a proxy on a special site that is proxy in some state or the same city as a legitimate user, he can also emulate the trusted activity, and then he goes to your account that he stole on the first step, eBay, Amazon, whatever it is, doesn't matter. He will log in, and the system will not ask any questions. He will try to initiate a transaction and buy something, and information about your credit card are already in the system. He didn't need to enter it. The system thinks that you are legitimate, and it will allow you to buy anything and send it to the drop-in address. When I was researching this thing, I found this bad guy, meet Genesis. Genesis is the biggest market of the stolen accounts, stolen fingerprint database, stolen bots that includes global fingerprints. A bad guy could come to the Genesis market and he could search for bots on sale. More than 60,000 stolen fingerprints are right now in there. Everything is there. All the accounts, like payment system, banking accounts, social networks, email accounts, everything is on sale at the moment right there. And you can see that the bad guy can search for any popular website he wants to get access to. Banking again account, payment system, and so on and so on. There is a details. When the bad guy buys a bot, he can, after he buys it, he will get immediate information, login and password, cookies, and the fingerprint. All this data is very searchable. The bad guys could search for this information. He could buy bots from a special countries, special cities, everything, URL, resource name, and so on and so on. He can look for the credit cards already sniffed by the web injects, and so on and so on. Also, he can only not buy stolen fingerprint. In the same market, he can generate unique fingerprint. Just with the 3 clicks, he can choose operation system, he can choose browser, and fully unique fingerprint would be generated, and he can use it after then he buy a credit card information on some other site. And the anti-fraud system will think, okay, this profile is unique, I never see it before. Probably it's a user, first time legitimately came to my site, he wants to buy something. More than that, the bad guys implemented a special plugin for the Chromium-based browsers. And when the customer installs this plugin, he can, in one click from this Genesis market, install just bought stolen profile. And in one click, he became a doppelganger, a full copy of the legitimate users with all the logins and passwords, cookies, and the fingerprint information. That's how the anti-fraud system could be bypassed. This is an example of this site. There is a lot of configurable, example of the plugin. There are a lot of configurable information. Everything could be changed, like user agent, IP address, WebRTC, and so on and so on. You see how many cookies are available for import from the stolen bot. You can see there is a vendor of the graphic card that anti-fraud system checks. Everything could be easily manipulated. Everything could be very adjustable to make the needs of the cyber criminal. The rule number 2, like I said, be unique. In the case of Genesis, we just buy or bought stolen information and use it in our cases. And actually, it's quite amazing because I didn't think that it would be like 60,000 variants of this information to be bought. And there are many tools, actually, on the carding forum that works almost the same. For example, the Sphere browser. Tenebris company, they position themselves as companies that provide an anonymity. But actually, they created a browser used mostly, 99%, for carding. It's a known tool for the 10 years. It's known in the carding community. Everyone knows about it. It's not a plugin. It's a fully prepared browser that actually, here's in Russian the description on the official website. It's paid. You have to pay its owners $100 per month to get full access to the browser, or $500 per 6 months, or $900 per year. It's a licensing system. And if you pay this money to the bad guys, you will get a fully customizable browser that fingerprint could be customized in any way you like. More than that, it could be generated. More than that, it's possible to import stolen fingerprint into this browser. You can choose platform. You can be anything, Linux, Windows, Android. You can choose any parameter in the digital fingerprint that you can adjust and then use this browser to access shop, BIF, kick in stolen credit card information, and anti-fraud system would be bypassed. This is the example of the test using the Sphere browser. Typical site that checks for fingerprints. You see your anonymity 100%, your anonymity measures are safe, or you don't use them. The system thinks that this guy is not using them. It's completely unique. It has time zone, location, and every other stuff that looks completely legitimate. Another example of the fingerprint check. Even the installed plugins could be faked. Even their fonts could be fake. Screen size, HTTP headers, everything could be faked. So you can ask how to mitigate this stuff, how to fight against this thing. First of all, is to use two-factor authentication on any transaction. It's not useful, but it's absolutely should be implemented right now. It doesn't matter if you stay on the website shop for weeks. Any new transaction, should be additional two-factor authentication. Any new initiation of the money transfer from payment system, a two-factor authentication should immediately trigger. It doesn't matter if a SMS on the phone or a token authentication device. That's how carding lives. No 2FA, money is being lost. Another few points, it's new methods for additional verification. I don't know biometric information, heavy usage of the neural networks, new additional verification analytic system of user behavior, banking agents installed on PC. Well, it's against GDPR. Two-factor is everything. And trust me, carding lives for 20 years, and it will live for the next 22. Thank you.